Good Friday morning to my friends on Facebook and YouTube. This is David Scott Peters. You're in the right place if you're here for Shoot the Shit with DSP. We're going to get started in just a minute, but I kind of want to lay down a bit of framework here. This is the first time we're going live on YouTube at the same time. This has normally been for my two Facebook groups, both private, one members, one non-members. So welcome those of you who are on Facebook, so I should say on YouTube and Facebook for that matter. Hey, I just want to let you know that my team is going to drop a link. If you're on Facebook, my team's going to drop a link that says restream.io/FB for Facebook. And you need to click on that if you've not done so before to let Facebook give it permission for me to see your name. I should see your name if you are on YouTube. If you've logged into YouTube, you can participate in the chat. Right now, we've got a bunch of people that are joining, and I, again, want to welcome you here. So we're going to get started here in just a moment. In the meantime, do me a favor, say hi. Give me a hi in there, good morning, anything in the chat so I know that you're here, you're living, breathing. We've got about half dozen or so joined us on YouTube. We've got another half dozen here on Facebook. People are coming in. Mary has just dropped in the Facebook groups the link. So do me a favor. I know there's a little bit of delay, so I buy a little time for you to type in a good morning. We've got from YouTube, we've got Natalia. Good morning. Good to see you this morning. I've got a Facebook user. Good morning. If that was whoever knew that was, you need to click on the link that Mary just put in the chat that gives Facebook permission to see your name. We got another hello from a Facebook user. Same for you. I've got somebody on YouTube. Mother's Cantina has joined us on YouTube. Welcome, Neely. Good to see you there. We've got my good friend Deja. Deja, what's going on? Good to see you this morning. We've got Ryan on the other side of things, Neely on YouTube and Ryan on Facebook. Here we go. Pam, good morning and welcome from the Curious Pig. Good to have you. I'm so glad to have you. Rob Royster, what's up, brother? Happy New Year to you. I see you've got a lot going on Facebook. You keep popping up on my feed. My good friend Chris Schoenberger, good morning, my friend. Good to see you as well. Rob has also said, Ruckus Pizza. That's your concept. Yes, sir. Hello for David Casas. Hello. And, no, you cannot have the room above my room in Vegas. That's an inside joke because he just emailed me. So here we go. We're going to get started here. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. SPS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, live on Facebook and now YouTube for at least the month of January. Travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming weekend, get excited about crushing your goals, and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm David Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and your coach. Today, I want to talk about a topic that really is a difficult one. Because for some of you, it doesn't affect you. Some of you are right at the tip of it. Some of you are deep in it. And most of us have approached it at least once in our lifetime. And I'm going to talk about restaurant burnout and what you can do to avoid it. So again, welcome those of you from YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you log into your account so I can see your name and you can participate in the chat. And those of you on Facebook in either one of the Facebook groups, make sure you click on the link that says restream.io/FB to give Facebook permission for me to see your name. Now, let's get started. Look. Our industry has been through a virtual dumpster fire over the last 3 years. Let's start off with COVID. Do I need to say any more? No, I don't. Then came product shortages. Can you remember when you would get shorted all the time as deliveries came in? After that came a labor shortage. Hell, we thought, man, here comes all this business. We can't even find employees to come work. And oh my goodness, at the same time, your costs have gone on through the roof for food, beverage, and labor costs. Right? Remember when $15 minimum wage was scary? Think of the last time that many of you thought, wow, if I could pay a cook only $15. As a restaurant owner, it's easier to feel despair and have that really almost impossible feeling to shake it. The past 3 years have led many restaurant owners and managers towards burnout, restaurant burnout. And how does restaurant burnout manifest itself? Well, it manifests itself by managers leaving the industry entirely. I don't want to do this anymore. Managers acting out and fighting change and unwilling to do what you ask them to do. Restaurant owners feeling helpless or even worse, hopeless. I get it. I really do. I get it. It's always been tough. It's always been tough being a restaurant owner. But it's never been like this. Again, I get it. I'm on coaching calls with restaurant owners on a daily basis, literally almost a daily basis. The struggle is real. On a personal side, it affects me as well. I feel your pain. I feel your stress. I feel your tears. I wish every day I had a magic wand and I could just, like fairy godmother, go bling and make it all better for you. But I can't. Nobody can. You can. We'll talk about that in just a second. So what do you do to battle and get yourself back in the right mindset, or dare I say, mind space, in order to keep going and get back to loving what you do? Well, in my book, Restaurant Prosperity Formula, What Successful Restaurateurs Do, I talk about a mastermind group that I had in my old company. That was my elite group. I've got Chris on here who's a part of that group. I've got that today in my Mastery Plus, and they mirror each other. These are people who have great positive thought processes. They're growth mindset people. They want to change their business. They understand that they don't know what they don't know, and they learn every single day. They want to share and help each other. Magical groups of people. But when I was writing my book, I hijacked one of my meetings. In fact, it was probably the last mastermind group meeting I made at my old company, because I was working on the book, had a heart attack, missed it, and then my company I was bought out for my company. And so it was a magical meeting, because what I did is I went around the table and said, hey, I'm writing a book. I need to know what makes you successful. And around 20 plus restaurant owners, spouses, managers went around the room, and I thought I knew exactly what made them successful, but I needed something to tie my book together. And so I literally hijacked the meeting and got people to share. Well, while the Restaurant Prosperity Formula came out of that meeting, which is restaurant prosperity is freedom from your restaurant and the financial freedom you deserve. To get it, you have leadership, systems, training, accountability, and taking action. You've heard that if you've been following me for over and over again. But there are two personality traits that every one of these members had in common. In fact, my members today have the same two personality traits. It's what's make them successful. It's one, passion for this industry. You must have a passion for this industry or it will eat you up. A passion to create memories for people, to create great hospitality experiences, and persistence. Hell, man, if you've survived the last 3 years, there is no doubt you are persistent. Because for many people, it took so many of our restaurants out when the pandemic hit first, probably good 40% just gone. And then it just got harder and harder and harder. And then the government gave us money for free and nobody fixed their frickin' mistakes. Instead, they just put money towards the pain. And the next thing you know, as we get to today, with rising costs, labor shortages, tech stacks that are necessary to run our business, our profitability starts going down. And now we've got this thing called, dare I say, recession/inflation, don't care what you want to call it. It's getting harder and harder and harder because now our guests don't even want to come back. For many restaurants, I'm seeing a 10, even 25% drop in sales. In larger markets, I still see many people up, but it's hard. So you've got to be persistent to want to be in this business. You need to find your passion. And I'm going to tell you, in order to find your passion, you need to find your why. You need to rediscover your why. Again, remember, challenges in the restaurant business are a given. But sometimes there's so many in a month, a week, or even a day that you find yourself feeling jaded. Challenges ranging from staffing and cost controls to marketing and legal issues can overwhelm your love for the restaurant and make it so you don't even enjoy it anymore. Losing your passion for your restaurant is the worst thing can happen to it and to everyone involved with it. Instead, follow this advice to reignite it. You got into this business because you were built for hospitality. True restaurant professionals realize it's their job to create lasting memories in their guests' lives. You do this when you create a restaurant that is comfortable, pleasing to the eye, and operating room clean. You create food and drink recipes to delight your guests and keep them coming back. You invest in customer service training so you can deliver on your promise of great guest experience. Ultimately, you do this because you love the restaurant business. However, when you feel overwhelmed by many ongoing challenges, you can lose your why. Your why is why you got into the business in the first place. Your why fuels you with energy and keeps you on a path to achieving your dreams. Your why is contagious and motivates the team and moves everybody in the same direction. Your why is the foundation to leadership and your ability to run your successful restaurant, your business. If you've lost your passion for the restaurant business, that inner spark that keeps you motivated and able to push through challenges that would stop any normal person, you need to rediscover it. You need to rediscover your why. It's time to reach deep down and rediscover your why. Make it a top priority in order to make it top of mind again. As you do, you'll find your passion for the restaurant business re-energizes you and gets you back on track. You'll find that everyone around you feeds off that energy, off your energy, and your business will catch fire in a good way. Not that dumpster fire we described, but a fire of like, you're hot, you are moving, you have got great sales, you've got managers in place, you've got time off, you're making the money you deserve. So how do you keep your why and not let all the challenges beat you down? It's actually really simple. It's so simple. The answer allows you to literally impose your will, even when you're not in the building. And for those you've been following me, I've been doing this for 20 years. You should know the answer to this by now. It's add systems into your business, that there's a system, a process, a way to doing anything and everything in your business. Systems ultimately allow you to run shifts the way you want them to be run without you being there. So you can then work on your business rather than in it. And that's the ultimate piece here. You want to avoid burnout. You need to put yourself in a position that you've got managers on the floor following your systems, ensuring things are getting done your way, that you have time off to have at least 2 days a week to work strategically on your business, at least 2 days a week to get out of the business, have time off to make time for your family, your friends, your personal priorities, that you have more in life. In order to make all of that happen and to make the money you deserve, you need to put a system in place for everything that you do. There's a system, a process, a way to doing everything and anything in your business. So now you have to take time and make it a priority to start working on your business, not in it. And in doing so, your why is critical. And that's how you avoid restaurant burnout. So if you found yourself in that spot where you're like, I'm done with this shit, reach down and remember that drunken evening when you wrote out your business plan on a cocktail napkin with one of your best friends. Remember why you've been in the business for so long. Maybe you said, man, I can't wait to have my own restaurant, to create memories for my friends, my families, and my new customers. Remember why you had a passion for what you're doing. Get that spark back up, because that's what's going to fuel you. And then when you have that spark, work on implementing systems for every aspect of your business to simplify your operation, to make it run the way you want it to run when you're there, but especially when you're not. And that's how you do it. Yes, that sounds pretty damn easy. And yes, I know it's not. Because it's a journey. I go on this journey with my members on a daily basis. And even in my coaching program, I get the foundational systems in place. And then there is at least 2 years of work left in place. And here's the reality. There's no finish line. We're never going to get to the end, high five and go, whoo, we're done. There's always something new. And that's the beautiful part about this business. You will never get bored. Whether it's the guest experience or finding a new way to run a more efficient, to have your employees feel appreciated, to, well, take advantage of new trends. There's always that creative buzz that goes on, but that creativity can't happen if you're in burnout. So reach down, find your why, reignite your passion for the business, and then work towards putting systems in place to make it easier for you. That concludes my section, my piece of Shoot the Shit with DSP. Now it's time for you and your questions. I'm going to come in and look at the rest of our comments here. I've got a comment here from Rob, says, culture, 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 and great guest hospitality feeds the soul. Talk to your guests. Amen. I've got a hello from BT John. Good morning, my friend. Oh, this is going to require my glasses and read on the side here. Chris says, this topic is so real. Let me do glasses. I'm going to have to switch over to my comments. This topic is real. I was there at one point, and then I found our elite group. So Chris is one of those people I wrote that book about. A group is the best way to help or meeting and sharing with other restaurant owners. Amen. Groups or other owners can help rejuvenate you, and the meetings are life-changing. Let me find it over here. Are life-changing. Find something that works for you. Hell, anyone can call me, visit with me, and I'll be your friend for you and an ear. You have support friends. Yes. So Chris is one of my past elite members, still in my old company. Just broke bread with him. He was at my seminar. Love him to death. And if anybody has made that major shift from burnout to one restaurant, two restaurants, now has six and is on fire, this is somebody who could help you if ever you need somebody. Mitch says, hey, David, you're a wealth of knowledge. Have you considered making Facebook Reels to drive traffic to your content? Maybe something to look into. Guessing you might be a marketing dude and not a restaurant person. So, appreciate you. Thanks for coming and visiting. We've got hello, everyone, from a Facebook user. So I don't know who you are. So make sure you click on that link that says restream.io/FB so I can see your name. Now, this is time for you to ask me questions. What kind of burning questions do you have that I can help you with? Again, the whole purpose of this is get you excited about the upcoming weekend, get you excited about crushing your goals, but I'm here to also answer your burning questions. So I've got a Facebook user who says, if you haven't done it before, don't forget to click on. Oh, that is Mary. Mary, you didn't do it in that group. You've got it in the other group. So that's good to know. If you're in two groups, you've got to do it in both groups. Make sure you click on that link, chat.restream.io/FB to make sure that I can see your name. All right. Questions. Here we go. Chris says, to Chris and David, thank you both for being available and sharing your time and advice. Our pleasure. Who are you? I'd love to know who you are. Even if you don't click on that link, type in, give me your name so I can look at it in the chat. Again, so one of the things is I'm using a software called Restream. And so in Facebook, I get both of your chats in here, but I can't see your name without permission because of it. And YouTube, I can't see you unless you log in and you can participate in the chat. So I'm going to put a last call out there and see. Oh, it's Kim Newsom. Hey, Kim, good to see you. Yeah, Chris is the bomb. Chris just told me it was Kim Newsom too. Thank you so much. All right, does anybody have any questions? I mean, this is our time. Here we go. Ryan James says, Ryan's feeding me. Hey, David, you talked about tech stack. What are the four most important pieces of restaurant tech all restaurants should have and why? That's an interesting question. I'm gonna tell you, let me go off the top of my head. Number one, food and beverage software, recipe costing cards, inventory, ordering, menu mix, ideal versus actual product usage. I'm going to tell you that's extremely important. I recommend to my members right now is a company called Margin Edge. I don't get any kickback or anything like that. I just believe in, if many of you know, I created a software package, an all-in-one, but that's not right for everybody. Sometimes you want to start off and get certain pieces going. So what I promote right now is the software that you're going to use. That's the one that I support. But I'm going to tell you, Margin Edge, like me, are restaurant operators who created software. Like them very much. The next is I like Jolt. Jolt, J-O-L-T, is a checklist system. They also have a prep system. They've got a video library for learning. They've got a time temp system. They've got a day dot system. Really great stuff. But for my members, I purchase a year subscription for one of their restaurants when they join for checklists. Because checklists are the foundation of all systems. And what I love is the accountability it adds. Because when you say, hey, is dumpster lid closed? And they go on the checklist and they say, yeah, and you drive in next morning, it's wide open. They can do it on their phone or a device. They click on it and says, oh yeah, it's closed. And you say, great, now take a picture. The accountability is amazing. Because if you can't get a manager to follow a checklist or any of your employees, what makes you think you're going to get your chef to take inventory accurately every Sunday morning? Now, from there, what else do I want my tech stack? Well, I want scheduling software. There's lots of great scheduling software out there. I think most of my members use 7shifts. Don't care, but you've got to find a way to communicate with your staff and be able to get your numbers quickly in order to budget properly. From there, I'm going to tell you, you're going to find this, probably the most important piece of your tech stack is your POS system. There is no piece of equipment or software, anything you're going to purchase for your restaurant that's any more important than your POS. Yes, I get it. Some of you hate your POS and some of you love your POS. Usually it's service and it's how it was programmed. But the truth of the matter is the information in that piece of software, that machine, if you will, is so critical to you proactively running your business. It's unbelievable. But most of us just use it as an active cash register. So, Ryan, thanks for giving me that softball. Those would be the 4 pieces that I would throw out there. Chris has answered Kim and says, "You're welcome, Kim. Message me anytime." He is dead serious. He will answer your questions. Pam says, "I met you in Vegas a month ago. I'm starting to implement systems. What is the best way to start checklists to use every day? Reusable sheets?" So that's going to go back to the tech stack. I'm going to tell you Jolt. But if you're not using Jolt, I'm going to print them out on paper. I'm going to print them out every morning, just in the morning, and I'm going to have them fill them out on paper. I am not going to laminate because lamination allows people to just go straight down to the grease pencil and they don't look. I'm going to change my checklist on a daily basis when I find something's not done. I need that flexibility. So if you aren't going to get a Jolt system and you're going to use paper, but you're, want to support the environment, well, unfortunately, we got to say screw the trees. I need to be able to see my checklists on a daily basis and throw them in a 3-ring binder, look at them routinely, and throw them away after a week or so has gone by. But again, if it were me, I'd make the investment and go with Jolt. Let's see here. Pam also says, or use laminate. Okay, yeah, no lamination. I anticipated that, right? Chris says, Jolt is good. I know many who use it. I've done some demos. It is awesome. Let's see. Chris also, I found a new great website for menus yesterday. iMenu Pro. Great place to make any type of menu you can think of. $15 a month. Super. The key I would say is, I know that Chris knows this, but many of you don't. Just making a pretty menu doesn't matter if you don't know the science behind it. Eye movement, pricing, descriptions, what you know that your product mix, what you want to sell, what you don't want to sell based on your budgeted food cost. There's a lot more that goes into it, but if you got to create a menu, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I think Deja uses that. I can't remember what Deja used. I thought that was pretty good. All right, we're closing in here. Does anybody else have any comments, questions? Mother's Cantina, Neely says, we're all in post-COVID menu engineering. Smaller portions is the way to go money saver. How about the bar? What do you think about going to 12-ounce cups instead of 16-ounce across the board to distract? I don't necessarily agree with it. Trying to distract with the bar. It's one of those things that while you can save money, there's been a trend in the industry. Let's kind of go back. So I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I'm getting OLD. I started dishwashing at the age 12. I'm 56 years old. Holy crap. So I've been doing this a long, long time. And I can remember when I was first a bartender and then a bar manager back in the 90s, we were talking about, do we have an ounce shot or an ounce and a quarter? And well, we leaned towards an ounce and a quarter. Where today, the trend has been because of DUIs and dram shop liability, we're selling less cocktails to people. We are charging more for them, and we're going to give them a better value and, well, dare I say, a little stronger cocktail because they're going to have less. So now we've gone to an ounce and a half to 2 ounces as standard pour. We've gone from, having 9-ounce beers and 14-ounce beers and 25-ounce beers to most people just having a pint. I think that you stay with the norm right now. I don't think you try and find portions to be lower. I think you charge properly, and you just got to understand that, well, people may not order an additional drink because of the economy. So just make sure they're awesome, because it will change. It will be a cycle, but I don't think cutting back to reduce the cost is the right answer. I think you charge and give a great experience. So it goes back to a book that I recommend everybody read. It's called Secret Service by John DeJulius. He's a customer service expert, has hair salons, gives $150 haircuts, kind of like the ones I get, rim shot. And what the book is easy read. Y'all should get it. Get it on Amazon. But he says, with wow customer service, we make price irrelevant. With wow customer service, we make price irrelevant. So we need to focus more on our guest experience and not dwell on price. And that's probably the critical thing, I would say. So let's see here. Deja said the software that she's using is musthavemenus.com, and I've seen that as well. So there's a second option for you. Chris, you might want to check that out as well. All right. Natalia says, what are some restaurant solutions to identify and implement? What are some restaurant solutions to identify and implement? Man, that's a loaded question. I've got solutions for everything, every aspect of your business, from labor controls to cash controls to preventing theft behind the bar to taking inventory to documenting your core values. So let me answer the question like a politician the way I wish you asked it. You say, what are some of restaurant solutions to identify and implement? Let's put it this way. Anything that you do as a restaurant owner is a task. And you need to give up that task. Your role needs to change to being somebody who works on budgets, marketing, leading the team, developing your managers, holding them accountable, moving the business forward, working strategically, and not doing the tasks, not doing line employee jobs, not typing numbers into spreadsheets or accounting software. So anything and everything that you do needs to become a system, a process away, your way, one that is trainable. So now that's the broad answer. If we sit there and say, okay, if I were to, and I'm looking at your question again, what are some of solutions to identify and implement? If you're talking about software, or are you talking about systems? Because the basics is start with Restaurant 101. Hot food hot, cold food cold, clean, safe worker environment for your guests and employees. Wow customer service, incredible product, creating great memories, and now to go. So you need systems and processes to ensure that happens. Next are checklists and cash controls. Before any of the big systems you identify, we go with checklists and cash controls. If I can't get my people to follow a checklist, what makes you think they're going to take inventory accurately on time every Sunday? How do I make sure that I create a culture of closed to open, that the restaurant is ready to go every single time, that people don't walk in the morning and go, who closed last night? Who are the idiots that did this? Because they're always finding things that weren't done. If I don't make sure every penny makes it to the bank, I've lost control. So if I were to say, where would I identify? And I'd start, it's Restaurant 101, and then it's checklists and cash controls. Then the systems that I teach come into play. Hopefully that answers your question. Neely says, great advice. You're too kind. Appreciate you. Chris says, just got a book yesterday. Can't wait to read it. Yeah, it is. How is it? I've been talking. We've known each other for how many years? Decade? And you're now getting to that book? You're killing me, Chris. John says, how do you focus on guest experience when you're a takeout and must increase prices? Oh, real easy. Whether you make sure that you're ordering online, that your guest experience is seamless and easy. If you're ordering by phone, by answering the phone with a smile, ready? David's Pizza Place. David's Pizza Place, you put a smile on, it guarantees it to be an uplifting sound. You only get one chance to make a first impression. From there, was the payment process easy, whether in the store or online? Then when the meal comes out and it's ready to go, is it hot? Is it cold? Meaning hot food hot, cold food cold. Is it in the right packaging? Because what I don't want to do is, let's say I've got a sports bar and, hey, to-go's kind of a thing, and I've got the styrofoam container with my burger in there and French fries. By the time they get it home, it's a freaking rainforest, right? All the heat goes up in the styrofoam and comes down and everything's gross. Do I have the right to-go containers to make sure the product that leaves my restaurant gets to their house, their office, as good as it was in my restaurant? Making sure that bag is completely, that you review the order and say, hey, everything is here. You ordered this, it's all here, instead of here's your bag. making sure cutlery's in there, salt, pepper, napkins, whatever the guest needs in order to, when they get there, they can enjoy the meal and not go, oh shit, they didn't give me. That's what I would do. That guest experience happens all the way through. It's later learning who your guests are and remembering their regulars. And maybe you're every now and then throwing them a bone. Hey, man, I threw in one of our cookies, man. I really appreciate you. Hey, I noticed last time you were here, you ordered. What'd you think of that? Getting to know. Hey, next time you come in, let me know, and we can make that extra special. ... Whatever it may be. There's certainly ways to wow your guest, even if you're to go. Let's see here. I've got one more comment here. Chris says, I don't read much. Either do I, brother. I probably hit about 3-4 books a year. Otherwise, I am watching YouTube videos, going to seminars, coaching programs, and so on, even myself. Well, that takes us up to our half hour with Shoot the Shit with DSP. I hope to see you here next week at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, either on Facebook, and for the month of, well, January, we're going to be experimenting and being live on YouTube as well. Whether we continue it, I don't know. But if you are on YouTube and you want to make sure you're a part of my exclusive Facebook group, make sure you go search me out and find the Restaurant Owner Coaching and Support Group. Join it. There you'll be sure not to miss out on any of this. Plus, it's a community where I answer some of your questions, or my team does. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope today gave you a little motivation to, well, avoid burnout or get out of burnout. But more importantly, know I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you go out there, kick some ass. Peace, everybody. We'll see you soon.